Hello everyone and welcome to a new video from Your Overwatch. I'm Eddie the Chump and today we'll be doing a top 5 of the most powerful ultimates in the game. I'll be breaking down each one, why I think it deserves a place on this list, and how you can get the most out of them. So with that said, let's get straight into it. So at number 5 we have a recently buffed ultimate, and that's Mei's Blizzard. Its radius is now huge and difficult to evade. What's so great about Blizzard is that it's highly dexterous. It can be used effectively on offense or defense, doesn't need comboing, although it can always be improved by that, and can team wipe effectively if you're focus firing well as a team. But the single biggest reason it's on this list is its ability to counter ult stacks or well organised pushes. If you don't know, Mei's ult starts as a projectile with very special properties. It can be thrown behind an enemy's Rhine shield and there's nothing the enemy team can do about it. By the time they've realised what's happening, it's too late. Weagle has used this ultimate many times to game-winning effect, and it really shows its worth on Capture Point and King of the Hill. Some may argue that having such a great ultimate makes Mei viable now as a tech pick, and I wouldn't be surprised to see her and this ultimate a lot more in Season 2. Number 4, Zarya and Graviton Surge. At number 4 we have an ultimate that came to define ultimate stacking and the power of using your ultimates as a team in conjunction with each other. I don't think it's unfair to say that Graviton came to define certain metas in Overwatch and still remains one of the most powerful in the game. Now you all know what it does. It collects enemies within its range into a small space, making them easy targets for other ultimates or great focus fire. The only drawback is that it takes a long time to charge and can be countered effectively by some other ultimates higher up this list. But that doesn't take away the potential it can have to completely destroy an enemy team. It goes fantastically well in combination with High Noon, Dragon Strike, or any offensive ultimate for that matter. It's good in all game modes and when leveraged properly can win you a game. It is an ultimate that requires good timing however. A wasted Graviton is one of the biggest single errors a player can make in the entire game, making its proper use deceptively hard. Number 3, Lucio and Sound Barrier. So at number 3 we start getting into a trend that will complete this list. I wonder if you can discern what it is before the end. Sound Barrier is one of the most dexterous ultimates in the entire game. Offense, defense, men up or men down in a fight, it doesn't matter. It can simply turn the tide of a team fight. It can help resist an enemy push or ult stack, buff your own push, help your team as they trickle defensive team respawns to steamroll a further point on payload or capture point. Lucio also generates his ultimate incredibly fast for how good it is, so expect to see it and use it often. Now just because it's very dexterous doesn't mean it can't be wasted. If you're not playing effectively as a team, it can easily make no difference at all, and it doesn't last long, so the edge it gives your team can evaporate if they aren't ready to take advantage of it. Nevertheless, it's simply too good not to be at this position on the list. Number 2, Mercy and Resurrect. Now I was personally struggling with the order of the top 2. Both have incredible potential value, but one is easier to leverage. So Mercy has to settle for being number 2 on this list. Well, what can we say about the Mercy Res that hasn't already been said? Well, firstly, its potential is massive, undoing all of an enemy team's efforts with one press of a Q button. Oh, you've won a team fight, have you? Well, think again. If Mercy can hide and time her ultimate well enough, you could potentially waste a massive expenditure of resources by an enemy team. Perhaps they ult stack properly and completely decimate your team in seconds. Well, a fat res can not only bring your team back into the fight, but can leave the enemy team without any more options other than to disengage or fight on with nothing left to gain an edge. She also gains it deceptively quick, and the only drawback is that because of this ultimate's power, Mercy becomes a highly targeted individual. There is inherent risk present here. If you take Mercy, have her ultimate ready, and get taken out by good target prioritization by the enemy team, you can be left out of the fight, unable to leverage its devastating potential. This is why I can't have it at number 1. It's incredible, but you could never get to use it. Number 1, Zenyatta and Transcendence. At number 1 we have the most viable, most effective, most dexterous, and some would argue, Genji mains especially, most overpowered ultimate in the entire game. This AoE ultimate just has too many uses to count. It counters almost every offensive ultimate in the game. Actually, let's just say it, it counters pretty much everything. It heals your team at a rate of 300 health points per second. Now if your teammates are also under the gaze of a High Noon, it won't save them. It doesn't protect them from burst damage, that's true. But it does completely ruin Genji's Dragon Blade, which up until its nerf was one of the most effective offense ults in the entire game. If you're playing Zen, pocketing this ultimate until you really need it is insanely easy to do. Your team gets Graviton, no worries. You hear Genji's ult, no worries. In fact, your team can survive almost anything if you wait to use this ultimate properly. It's so good that it kind of breaks the ultimate meta. Now, it does take a long time to charge, that is true, but once you have it, it's easily saved for maximum value. There's not much more to be said really. I really think this is the best ultimate in the game. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please don't forget to leave a rating. If you agree or disagree with this list, don't hesitate to leave your own suggestions in the comment section below. I've been Eddie the Chump, and until next time,